Friday, 6/9. Off we went on another advance, still without food, water, or rest. I am really becoming weak. Stopped for a break and I must have fallen into a coma. Slept on the road. In the afternoon I barely escaped death once more. An 88 battery opened up on us in the road. A half-track, but 10 yards from me, received a direct hit and broke into flames. It burned for an hour with ammunition flying everywhere. On and on we watched. Tonight we found a break. Got some sleep, food, and water. Despite all the fireworks, I fell into a sound slumber. We passed hundreds of German corpses today en route and took many prisoners. Our artillery is doing a marvelous job in wiping out enemy batteries, and the Air Force is literally annihilating towns ahead of us. The civilians are notified by the Air Force before each raid to clear out of the towns and protect themselves. So many things are happening. I am only noting a few. Saturday, 6/10, the first relatively quiet morning we had in France. I don't pay attention to the snipers anymore. I think today is Saturday. Sunday, 6/11 to Tuesday, 6/13. So many things have happened that I find it impossible to remember. Having recovered my nerves from some narrow escapes, I am now once more as cool as a cucumber. Our mission and the establishment of a bridgehead about 12 miles deep and 40 miles along the coast was successfully accomplished on Sunday. Since then, the least said, the better. We seem to be running into tragic hard luck. However, divisions are pouring in every day from the beach, and soon we may be able to resume a successful offense. I have been administering to the sick and dying these past few days in our battalion aid station. I better not describe any more sorrows of the past 2 days. Wednesday, June 14th. Handling more casualties. Yesterday we led some litter bearers across the front searching for wounded men of George Company. We went unprotected past our patrols and clear into the enemy lines. Thank God we were not fired upon. If only some reciprocal arrangement could be made with the enemy for the mutual recovery of the dead and wounded, it would be most welcomed. The news spread around that I have been killed, news that reached division and corps. I am happy to deny the rumor. By the way, some fool plundered my mass kit, leaving only the essential things. I celebrated my first mass in France this PM. Because of the surrounding enemy, it was impossible to accommodate all our men who desired to be present. We are now in a new corps made up of 2 infantry divisions, plus 1 armored division. We are most grateful for the latter. Thursday, June 15th, in Signy, France. Writing in retrospect, we prepared today for another great offensive, the object being St. Lo. I said Mass at 12:30. Although I thought it would be private, many of the men managed to hear Mass even though they were all well dispersed of necessity. Late afternoon we marched to a new assignment area, dug in, and got set for the offensive. As usual, the Jerry's bombed and shelled us all night. It's practically impossible to get a good night's sleep. Our air support during the day is magnificent, but every night the Luftwaffe gives us the works. Nevertheless, the only thing that bothers me now is the whistling of artillery shells overhead. The noise is enough to unnerve even a cold-blooded guy like yours truly. About 10 shells whistle by this very moment. Fortunately, they were ours. Friday, 6/16. I am jotting these notes on the roadside en route to our attack upon St. Lo. From the fireworks about a mile ahead, we are having to blast our way through. What a life. Never a dull moment. Artillery, cannon, anti-tank shells bursting all around us, bombs falling from the air, mostly ours, thank God. Snipers and machine gun bullets constantly bouncing around our heads. I wonder how much of this a man can take. Dig in and pray. That's been my advice to the men, and believe me, it is sound. I am getting a bit tired of digging foxholes, especially when I have to dig them about 7 feet long to accommodate my frame. We captured the high ground around St. Lo this evening, and then dug in for some rest. But as usual, the German snipers saw to it that we didn't sleep. By the way, the Nazis are fighting a guerrilla type of war with Jap tactics. Every time we push them back, they have concealed snipers who try to kill off our officers as we pass. It is becoming very annoying and costly. Saturday, 6/17. My great companion en route has been Lieutenant Dr. Paul Lemaitre, Providence Street, Putnam County, Connecticut, the assistant battalion surgeon, and a fine Catholic doctor and associate. We have shared foxholes, barns, dunghills, etc. thus far. Doc had a narrow escape some 2 days ago. Today we met some still enemy resistance, and so called upon our artillery, which wiped it out. The artillery has been doing a wonderful job. On and on we advance toward St. Lo. We have to fight bitterly for each mile. The enemy is entrenched behind strongly fortified machine gun nests, artillery batteries, etc. Our boys are doing magnificently, but it is so hard to hit what you cannot see. When these German 88s open up, it's the nearest thing to hell on earth imaginable. What drives me frantic is something like this. One of our wounded just told me that some of our boys are trapped about a mile ahead. How I want to go to them. Going up there would be suicide. I am not afraid to go ahead. I have prayed to fear no physical ill, but only to fear offending God by sin. My prayers have been answered. Monday, 6/19. Spent the day digging in and holding the ground we had gained. Last night we were bombed from the air and shelled for hours. It was a horrible night. I managed to say Mass at 1300 hours. Went up to the lines this evening and found the boys tired but still holding on in marvelous style. Tonight our area was plastered by the enemy. I don't know what they were using, but hear that the Germans are now employing rocket guns. Saw some of the shells this morning, and they are monstrous, about 5 inches in diameter and about 1.5 feet long. It's almost incredible that such tremendous shells should be hurled so far. Tuesday, 6/20. The enemy opened up with mortars, artillery, and machine guns during Mass. How wonderful it would be to offer holy sacrifice in some quiet church. June 21st, June 22nd. 2 days of similar activities. We remain dug in, awaiting orders to go forward. The Jerrys continue to hurl some new fantastic shells from rocket guns. They land with a terrific thud and blast. Our artillery is returning the compliments, but we have the usual problem of finding the concealed enemy before we can hit him. During the day our planes dominate the sky, but at night the Jerrys give us a regular serenade of dynamite. Our food situation has improved wonderfully. If only we could relax for a while, all would be well physically. Wednesday was the first day of summer. I shall never forget the summer of '44. Went up to the front lines this morning, united with the boys, and found them in good spirits, though the environment was warm. These boys have certainly become veterans in a short time. We could all stand a little rest and relaxation, this being the 17th day on the front. The enemy seems to have reinforced the artillery because shells are coming over in larger numbers and barrages. Jim Moore was injured, but not seriously, leaving only Chaplain Schilling and I in the regiment. It seems that we shall have another pounding tonight. Our own artillery continues to return each compliment. It is most consoling to hear shells whistling over our heads, but in the right direction. Saturday, June 24th. At the front, things are relatively quiet. I hope rumors to the effect that the enemy is withdrawing are correct. We shall soon have a big battle for St. Lo, and a little less opposition would be most welcome. I was able to have Mass. 15 were present, 8 received. I wish I could understand the French language. Don't even have time to learn. An artillery barrage is coming our way. I'll have to duck. Sunday, June 25th. A day of great joy and sorrow. I will refrain from the tragic elements. I shall manage to keep cool, but this can't go on forever. I was able to have Mass. Shells are blasting away at the moment, and they ain't ours. One Mass at 1000 hours, the other at 1500. About 40 men were present, 20 received. About 80 men at the second, 45 whom received. Boy, it is times like these that try men's souls. Even my steel nerves are being tested time and time again. I hope we move soon, because every time we pause, the Jerrys seem to be able to lay it on thick. It's so peaceful in this country. This cannot be the right country. It's a shame, too, because the weather is perfect, the shrubbery is in bloom, etc. Please, God, don't permit this war to go on much longer. Monday, June 26th, Tuesday, June 27th. A similar pattern for both days. At the front line, chatted with the boys. To my question, is there anything I could do for you, son? The usual request is for a prayer book, confession, or mail. All the men plead for some relief, and not without reason, for we have been facing the enemy for 20 days, and the tension is beginning to affect those who are left. There is no let up on the other side of the lines. Even while I write, they are dropping 88s and 105s about 50 yards from where I sit. The nerve-wracking whine of the shells overhead is almost as bad as the ear-splitting blast of the explosion. Never dull moment. Most important, I was able to say Mass at 1300 hours each day. My work concerning the spiritual welfare of the boys on the front lines has been unnecessary. They are all praying more now than ever before in their lives. These German 88s can accomplish more in a few salvos or barrages than a walk mission. The Jerrys are really opening up on us now. One 88 shell landing only 2 feet from the chaplain's jeep. At this point, we all need a little relaxation and a good rest, and I think we deserve it. Tomorrow will be the last day of June. In happier times, we would be looking forward to the 4th of July. No need for that here. Every day is a 4th of July, without the accompanying festivities. Last day of June, 24th day of the front lines, and still going. Went up to the forward outpost this morning and visited with the men, and find them as courageous as ever, but tired. We should be due for a rest soon. Had Mass again today, thank God. About 10 present. Yesterday and today, I thought we pulverized the Nazi installations ahead, but here it is evening, and they still whistle shells our way. I was able to bring some smokes, candy, and toothbrushes to the boys this morning. They seemed glad to receive the items. 1st of July. Today we received our much-awaited and, I believe, deserved relief. I am now living in luxury, having my pup tent for shelter and my bedroll in which to sleep. Such items are a real treat at this stage of the game. Perhaps tonight we shall get some good sleep. Although we are supposed to be resting, it is as ominously noisy as ever. Our own artillery is blasting away overhead, and in the distance, a machine gun battle is raging. The German machine gun fires faster than ours, but ours are heavier and more accurate. July 2nd. Had Mass, confessions, and communions, and received some letters today. The number of renegades and prodigals who came back to God today via confessions was most consoling. War is indeed a paradox. It is hell truly. But to us who are concerned with the things that are eternal, war is also heaven. Today I pleaded with the men to pray for the grace of sorrow for the past, a sincere purpose of amendment for the future, and the grace not to fear any physical evil for the present. The rest will be in the hands of God.